What's up, everybody? It's Bear out here in the woods doing the things on the Cat 279 Delta. I wanted to talk with y'all a little bit today about my position on America. I've talked about this ad nauseum on the daily briefs, and so if you're not watching the daily briefs, I recommend that you do watch the daily briefs. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. At this point, I guess they're not daily, but you know what I mean. America. It is my belief that the current American system, America 1.0, America 2.0, whatever you want to call it, that we are in end stage decline of this empire. And I base that off of A, the writings of Sir John Glubb, The Fate of Empires, and B, off of history itself, and C, off of all the indicators that we see daily. The governmental tyranny at the federal and state levels, the economic crisis, could be economic collapse, the civil unrest, the supply chain logistics, the bad actors, criminal bad actors within this country. So all of those things do not bode well for the current system, and I have gone on at great length about that. What I've not done, really, and this is perhaps my fault, is directly espoused on what I think America 2.0, or the next phase of America, should look like. Now, what I have said, again, many, many times, is that whatever it looks like is up to you and I. Hopefully, we get to decide, we have some input as to what the United States of America looks like going forward. And here's the thing. I think we've all learned from November 2020 that we can line up, we can pull the lever for whoever we may see fit to do so for. But that does not translate into appropriate political action. I also feel greatly that the current political system is not one that's going to allow us to fix our political problems. Now, I've heard many, many cries for a convention of the states, and while I think that that could have been a good idea at one point, I question the veracity, I question the integrity of the folks that would attend that convention of states, because the depth to which corruption has permeated our political system extends beyond the federal, in my opinion. So, I don't think we're at a point in time now where a convention of the states will fix whatever we have going on, because I don't trust politicians. I don't trust our politicians. And I certainly don't think that one man or one woman elected to the swamp is going to drain said swamp. A little tip on land nav: you don't drain swamps, you just navigate around them. And unfortunately, other elements will use swamps for cover. An inhospitable position from which to operate, because the likelihood of an opponent coming into the swamp and succeeding in said swamp would be very low. So what does that mean for us? Well, what moves can we make? As I've said before at great length again, I believe in personal responsibility, and I believe in personal liberty. I think that a strong home, which for me starts with my relationship with my Creator through His Son, and then my relationship with my wife, and then our relationship with our children, that strong home allows us to function within a strong community. Strong communities make strong cities and towns. Strong cities and towns make strong states. Strong states make strong regions, and strong regions make a strong America. And that means for all of us, we need to be as strong as possible. So what does that look like? Well, for me, it means not operating out of debt. I don't believe in debt, and I'm not here to tell you how to get out of debt. I would see Dave Ramsey for that. It means that I spend time in my word, and I pray daily for the wisdom and discernment of the Holy Spirit, because even the very elect will be deceived. It means taking care of our bodies, being physically fit, being mentally fit, emotionally fit, hell, just getting a good amount of sleep. It means for me, 6 days ye shall labor. So I'm getting after it, sun up to sundown, doing things that I need to do so that I can be stronger, in a stronger position. It means for me applying a modicum of preparedness to weather the uncertain political winds and the supply chain logistics that we find ourselves in. And it means being able to maintain a comfortable distance from tyranny, however you define that. Now, if I can do all of that, and that makes me strong where I am, it also means that I'm in a position to pour into others. And that's part of what we try and do here at Bear Independent, is to pour into others. Now, that's our home. What about our businesses? What about our income? Well, there may never have been a more important time for entrepreneurship. So many people are losing their revenue source because they won't do certain things. And believe me, it can be scary to be your own boss. But I would encourage you to look into that. I have been more or less my own boss since I was 17 years old. We don't need to go into my entrepreneurial background here, but I have been self-employed and/or building businesses for myself and others for over 20 years. And I'm not rich monetarily, but I also, by the hand of my Father, don't need to worry about how I'm going to pay my bills this month. I also get to do, in a large degree, what I want to do, what I deem valuable and equitable and profitable to do today with my time. I don't punch anybody's clock but mine. And that frees up a lot of time for me to do things like homesteading and animal agriculture and Bible study and community work and charity and giving, which all feature back into being strong in our homes. And so I think a wave of entrepreneurship would be a very good thing right now, given what the country is going through. I think a wave of American small businesses, in light of the global supply chain logistics, would be good right now. American-made goods don't get stuck on ships waiting to be unloaded at ports. It's a big selling point of Refuge Medical, one of our companies. Our kits are made here. They're guaranteed forever. They are of high quality. They exceed what you can get from overseas. And they're priced at an appropriate price point. And I'm not bragging here. I'm giving you some insight into what we do and how we do it. I think that is one way to kickstart the economy, not only on the national scale, but on the micro scale, on your household scale. I also think all of us need to be willing to pivot. I don't know what that looks like for you, but I do know, for example, if tomorrow we couldn't make first aid kits and train people how to use them anymore, I'd grab the chainsaws out of my barn and I'd hook the big trailer to my truck and I'd load this skid steer on that trailer and I'd start cutting firewood and cutting timber and clearing lots for people. Pivot. It's income, right? Got to do something to keep the wolf away from the door. And all of us have these skills. All of us have these inherent giftings and talents and delights that were given to us by the Father. And if we would just use them and use them in a way that bring him glory, he would bless that. I'd recommend you read Deuteronomy 28. You read Deuteronomy 30. It's real. I live it every day. I can tell you it's real. So getting back to making this nation great again, that happens one man or one woman at a time. And I don't believe that we can do that when we are dependent upon a broken system. This is why this channel is called Bear Independent. I want to be as independent of that fragile system as possible. And so what's the big plan going forward? Macro. And there's a lot of people who are angry right now, and I don't blame you for being angry. I get angry about it too. There's a lot of self-stylized patriots that want to know what the next move is, man. What are we going to do to take back our rights? Well, rights don't matter if you don't exercise them. And right now, unfortunately, I see a whole country full of people who are cowering rather than exercising their rights. I would fix that. And there are a lot of people who are dependent upon multinational corporations and large businesses and hell, even small businesses that are willing to bend the knee to the powers that be for a little bit of comfort. What is that? Those that would trade comfort for liberty will soon lose both and deserve neither, or something to that effect. And so really, for me, it comes down to personal responsibility. I don't have a macro plan. We should recall bad governors. We should put good people into office. I fear, though, again, that the system is too broken for that to have any long-term lasting change. I also fear, frankly, that the economic system in the United States of America is going to go away, or it's going to take a major hit. And I, for one, don't feel like buying bread with a wheelbarrow full of cash. And so I would encourage you strongly to be prepared for that. The one ray of sunshine I see in this, and I've spent hours on this machine today thinking about this, and I apologize if my thoughts are frazzled. The one ray of sunshine I see in this is you. It's me. It's us working in tandem with a loving Creator to do what He made us to do. Remember, man was created outside of the garden. He was brought into it to rule it and to subdue it, to work the garden and to guard it. That is the ideal spiritual nature of man, to work it and to guard it. And so I'm encouraging you, as we think more about what America 2.0 looks like, how can you work it? Not work it for somebody else. Work it for you. How can you guard it? Not guard it for somebody else. Guard it for you. Whose name is on your forehead or on your hand? Whose uniform do you wear every day? I don't think our current system is long for this world. I am, however, encouraged to be clear for the potential of what comes next as far as this system is concerned. And I want to be as strong as possible to have as much say as possible on what comes next. Because in any great catastrophe or cataclysm, after a given period of time, the only people who are left are the strong ones. So you, brother or sister, I want you to be strong. And I want you to think about how can you pour into what comes next. There's many people who say this must be end times. I'm telling you, from the days Messiah walked the face of the earth until now, every generation has thought this is it. And maybe it is. Maybe it's not. If it's not, what are you going to do so that your children inherit something worth inheriting? So that we leave this mortal coil better than we found it. And I don't have all the answers. But I do think that there is a massive level of industriousness and ingenuity with the American people. And we should put that back into play for us, not for anybody else. I do think many of us are good, and we are strong, and we are kind-hearted, and we take it seriously that we should love the Lord our God with everything we've got, and we should love our neighbor as ourselves, and we are trying to do that. So I'm asking you to do that even better. And I'm asking you to think about, how do you pour into what comes next, and what should that look like? I'm genuinely interested in your comments down below. Bless y'all. Shalom.